Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to our Monday night. Happy to be alive and live with you. We have an incredible opportunity this week because we're entering to what we call a new cycle. It's called the month of Virgo, the month of Elul. Kabbalistically speaking, that month known to be giving us a gift. Like it's like a month of charity from the universe to us. For what? להפוך בריאה חדשה. To become a new being, a new person. Literally, this month, starting this Thursday, is the gift of transforming. Again, it's available. Doesn't mean one will do it. There's some work needs to be done. It's not simply just because you alive in this month, it's happening. But it's giving you cosmically the support to become a new being. Complete. Starts all over. If you call it in our language, it's like every year, you get the opportunity to do or to press the reset button. You know, sometimes after you use your computer and you open many browser and everything, sometimes the computer gets stuck. So you call the expert, they will tell you what? The expert says, just restart, right? Or reboot. This is this month. So all of us know that why this month? Because obviously in the end of this month, we know there's a major window opening. It's called Rosh Hashana. And, you know, we all know, and obviously if in New York, you know what's Rosh Hashana. Obviously, we're going to speak about it in the next four weeks as a preparation for that. But specifically for today is if you want to, or you want to awaken a desire that this year will be much greater than any other year. And every year you have to awaken a greater and greater desire. Not simply just to be a little bit happy. Not simply just to be a little bit more inspired. Completely different, completely next level. So every year, in order to enter or give us the opportunity to get more or to connect to more, you need to what we call cleanse or remove things that you know, not so proud of, things that are lingering, old relationships, you know, unfinished business, things that you shoveled somewhere, all of these things that the people are not dealing with, eventually it's coming back to, you know, to hurt you. What do you mean to hurt you? You cannot avoid, there is a constant loop until you finish what we call a certain correction about it, a certain adaptation about it. You cannot fix it. You have to completely change it. So we learn throughout the year, again, it's only for 1 year. This month, give us the opportunity to reduce what we call the amount of judgments that we created. What do you mean judgment? Judgment, technically it means limited behavior, limited way of thinking of people. Separation, right? When you separate yourself from the collective, when you put yourself higher than others, when you look down to people, when you know, throughout the year, we embarrass somebody. Somebody was, feeling bad from how we behave. We neglected teachers or coaches, or we look down to those people. Our family was completely been pushed aside, you know. So we know that these and many others causing us to be disconnected from our greatness. Anything in your movie, anything in your year meant to propel you, have you in a way, way deeper and higher place. But if I don't understand how to use it, so you end up going down. Now you call it, I'm busy, you call it the market, you call it I'm traveling, but in the end of the day, nothing should take you down. Everything should help you to go up and grow more and more. So in order for us to go to the entire year, I'm not talking about 20, 30 years back. I'm talking about this year. This year, you influence in negativity some people. You were a bit, with your ego and, behave roughly with others or whatever it is. Or you even just neglected. You didn't pay attention to people. Now I need to go back to those situations because it's like an open case, right? It's open cases throughout the year. And if you don't close that case, it's obviously doesn't give you the fuel to have a better year or a greater year. Therefore, it's not just about getting more. It's about using what you have for the sake of complete transformation and allow you to grow with that. So what does it mean? You're going to go back to all the situation and you bring them back to the same position where it started. And obviously, like imagine, the Kabbalists call it bringing back everything to the embryonic place. What does it mean? Like, for example, if you have a gold chain, right? And you want a gold ring. So you take that chain and you melt it back to its origin, right? And then you reconstruct it the way you want it, as a ring or as an earring or whatever it is. That's what we're doing. We go back to those places, bring it back to the original place, and then rebuild it in a way of like learning what was there in that situation that taught me, that take me to the next level, that I was supposed to transform from that, right? The interaction with the bank manager. You look down to them, you hate them, whatever it is, but the interaction meant to help you grow. But your behavior, the way you're thinking, the way you talk to them, you have to go back and not fix it with the bank manager. Fix it in your consciousness. Fix it, let's say you have a dispute between you and your family member or a friend. You don't have to go back and say, I'm sorry. Most of the time when people go back and ask sorry, right? A lot of people coming to the holidays and like crying and wow, we are a sinner, we damaged and all of that. That doesn't work. Because they do it the same thing the next year, okay? The only way it works is what we call, in the process of Kabbalah, called teshuvah. Chuvah. Now, religiously, the religious world, or we know people who grew up around that, know that Chuvah, literally they will call it repentance. I'm sorry, God, what I've done and all of that thing. That doesn't work. We've seen it for so many, many years. According to Kabbalah, the word Chuvah is not just repentance, is answer. Chuvah, to answer, right? You need to do tshuva. What I mean, you need to give answers to your behavior. That's what it means. You need to go back. Tshuva also comes from the word lahashiv, to bring back the situation that you engaged, that you didn't take advantage. And also, lashuv, to go back, to bring back, what I mean, what? Yourself to your higher state, right? Bring back the face of humanity, face of human. Some of us lost the face of human. Some of us lost the connection to humans. Bring it back. Bring back humanity. And second is, you have to go back to all those situations that you did not behave, think, or felt like human being. So you have to go back and bring back your humanity, how to be human, how to interact with the situation. And then you give an answer. So what do you mean you give an answer? Again, I'm going to speak a little bit more about it, but if you go back to many situations, now all of us, what made me being cruel to somebody? What made me at that moment say the worst thing to that individual? Obviously, you can sit around and blame, oh, that person is a crook, and that individual, I had a hard day, that's why. According to Kabbalah, we all know, each one of us, if you're honest with yourself, you have a negative, dark side. There's nothing you can do. You can pretend you don't have a dark side. You can pretend you're all pure and everything. But we all know when you go back, when you're all alone, or when you do things, you realize, you have a dark side. You have a side of us that we are not so proud of. And when you're always operating from that side of you, it's not always serving the greater good. It's always sets you in a bad place. Now, according to Kabbalah, we learn each one of us have what we call the opponent. And we speak about it many, many years, but in religion, they call it Satan, the devil, and all kind of words they came up with that. I like the word drifter, right? I like the word the opponent. Because why? The opponent in every game, if the opponent is weaker than you, maybe you're always winning, but you're not growing. Each one of us have an exact opponent in the exact measurement of who you are, to challenge you, to push you, to awaken greater darkness within you, because it's a vessel, what we call, it's a greater vessel for light, once you're able to transform it. So we cannot run away from that. Some people pretend it's not there, but it's going to come in an extreme moment. It's most of the time, you can call it the ego, you can call it selfishness, but it's all under the umbrella of what we call Satan, the opponent, the drifter, whatever you want to call it. But definitely it's not what religion tell us throughout the years, that there's a devil with a stick, with a thing, with a red and fire, and waiting for you in the gate when you leave this world. Wow, it's a beautiful Hollywood scene, right? But once you're dead, he's dead. So there's no point, right? The whole idea of the opponent is to make sure you're not going to do the work in this world. That any opportunity that you have interact with somebody, you're not going to grow from that. You're going to dismiss. You're going to be tired. You're going to be lazy. You're going to give all kinds of excuses. But that's your opponent. That's not the word, not the sound of your soul. There's not the sound of I want to grow. There's not the voice that tells you change, transform, awaken more. And each one of us need to know who is you, your soul, your pure human being, and who is not you. It's not you. And it's not that devil who made you, do that, right? There's a little devil. No, it's simply an opportunity, right? To give you the voice of opposing voice. And if you become outrageous and you be negative and angry, you didn't get it. Any opposition that comes to your life is a gift. Anything. If you see it this way. So now, if we understand What is made me do that? It's not that you are a victim of this force. It's because you had a moment an opportunity to reveal light, greatness, to connect to the human side of you, and your opponent told you, stick it to them, throw a dagger on them, say the worst thing for them, control the situation, scare them, right? You do that, you miss the opportunity. You listening to the opponent, to the smaller voice of you. Therefore, comes every year the process of what we call Elul, this month, and I need to go back to those situations, at least in your mind, in meditation, and visit your behavior, visit how you listen to the victim consciousness, and you get stuck in the moment. And obviously, you dismissed everybody. And now everything is gone. Everything is okay. But that moment, stay in the dark. And our job is to go back and to bring it back to light. To bring back the light in the moment, not to, again, to realize what happened. Because remember, this year, what's shaping you, what sculpture you, right, is those moments. Every moment of them is building a sculpture. If you don't like what you see, change it. If you look every morning in the mirror and you say, I'm appreciating and I love what I see in my life, great, let's make more of that. But if you don't like it, change it. There's nobody else that can do it for you. So now, in this week's portion of the Torah, each one of these 4 or 5 that we maybe read until then, it's building us a mechanism, give us the energy to deal with what we need to deal. Therefore, what is the sign of the zodiac in this month that's coming to us, in the month of Elul, the month of Virgo, is represented by the Virgin, right? What is Virgin? Purity. You're going to come back this month, before Rosh Hashana, before you enter to this time, you need to bring yourself back to the pure aspect of who you are by cleansing all these situations in your life. And you're not going to imagine this year what's waiting for you. But it's all dependent on your work this month. What type of answers you're going to give to all the situation that you created? That's Chuvah. Chuvah meaning answers. You need to answer why you behave this way, why you behave that way. It's not simply that you embarrass somebody, now I'm going to call them, I'm sorry. That doesn't work, my friend. You can do that as many times as you want. You were mean, you were that, you lied. You always go back to that. Take responsibility. It's completely different situation. You go back, you don't blame, you just own the situation. You see how I was so short in my love to them. How I was so short with my time. I didn't extend my time to that individual. I'm telling you, small thing. Don't go. You did horrible thing, cheating and all of that. No. Go back to the small things. That's where the negative side gets you. Then you want to check. Here I was lazy. Here I took the small, I made myself so small. Here I was very selfish. Here I was operating from my fear. Here I had my own insecurity guiding me. That's why I was like that. Here I was ashamed, or I was afraid of shame. That's why I did that. Every situation, you need to understand, we gave power to our opponent to control us. And I want to bring back Chuvah. What is Chuvah? To go back and bring back the power that I gave to my opponent over me. Imagine you playing against opponent and you give him all your secrets. right? How to defeat you. Hey, by the way, in the third phase, that's what I'm going to do. So you need to know. That's what we do. We give in our power how to be controlled. Another thing, our opponent know who we are exactly because it's internal. It's not your mother-in-law. It's not your neighbor. It's not the customer service that you call. It's not the bank. No, not your employee. It's not external. It's only inner voice. Each one of us need to listen to the voice and start separate between the voice of your soul and the voice of your opponent. What is the only way our opponent control us? He have something that we're not really yet so powerful about it. It's called hypnotic rhythm. You know, like when you have a certain beat or when you listen to a song, right? And then the whole day that song playing in your head. Happened to you before, right? It's happening. You have like, usually with me, it's the kids songs. You know, you hear the kids song all the time, Curious George. It's always playing in my head. It's playing in my head. It's Curious George, right? Anyway, each one of us have his own song that plays. Sometimes it's played there, and then all of a sudden I realize that's playing in my head, right? The same thing your opponent does. And he repeats. It's called repetition. It's a rhythm. It's a certain beat that control you. You have to change your frequency. Otherwise, what is the frequency? Look at your fears. Same fears all the time. Same exact fear. Oh, I'm usually afraid that if I ask anybody, the same fear, the same insecurity, the same problem, right? Why is it the same? Because your opponent already know you and he feeds you the same thing that you feel familiar. You don't have new fears or new things. It's the same idea. Oh, I have a fear of commitment, fear of commitment, fear of commitment. Why are you not getting married? Fear of commitment. It's nonsense. You don't have that. We are human beings. We can control completely the world of matter. Nothing can stop us. Besides the amount of time you listen to your opponent and he's pinching on you all the time. He hypnotizes us on our selfishness. Take. They're not going to have. You should take all the time. It's not you. So stop listening to that and create a new rhythm, the rhythm of your soul. How? Only with Chuvah. Only with going back to every situation and never let it control us. Because when you do that, it's called Baal Chuvah. What is Baal Chuvah? Baal Chuvah, if you look at it in the religious world, they go, oh, is the person become more religious, right? No. Baal, it means I own, or I'm the husband. Baal is the husband. I'm the husband of the energy, what we call Chuvah, which is an energy that controls these matters, the world of matter. That's what Chuvah is about. Again, bring ourselves back to a unified place. It's funny, I had this week. So last week, listen how things working, and then I get this beautiful message. So last week, for whatever reason, I was in Tel Aviv, visiting my family, and I know the TV was on. And then I saw on TV, for whatever reason, a crow riding on an eagle. That was the scene. I was like, I don't know why I'm seeing it. I didn't really go into it. The volume was off, so I don't know. I just saw it. And then I let it go. Yes, a couple of days ago, I'm listening to some of you know I like football. I like to watch sport. I learn a lot from sport. So I'm watching the opening speech of the Jets coach, and the way he started The way he started the speech, he says, you know which bird is the only bird who dare to attack the eagle? And of course, it's the crow. So like, wow, I can't believe he started talking about it. So that was for me like, okay, I needed to learn it. I need to understand it. But this is exactly all what I was studying about this week. That as soon as he said it, it all came together for me. What is the idea? You know that the crow, how does he attack the eagle? He sits on his back and poking him, and this way controlling him. Can be many of them coming at the same time. And when the eagle see that he cannot avoid them, what does the eagle do? Start fly higher and higher. And as he go higher, the crow cannot survive in a higher altitude. So he just fall from his shoulders and die or not, depend what the height. What an idea, right? So this is actually literally what happened. We know that I didn't make the connection. But this is this month. This month, again, like the whole year, your opponent the only way he can control you if he sits on your back. He sits on your back, you cannot get rid of it. Imagine you have something in your back and you cannot get rid of it. The only way you can get rid of it is if you climb up. If you elevate yourself that you suffocate your opponent. He will be aware not to bother you, not to interfere in your business, not to interfere in your life. He will be very aware to respect you. What makes me go higher and higher? The process of Chuvah. In this month, every time you take in a moment, every day, you know what? Every day of this month, take a moment. Visit in the morning, wake up in the morning, or even at night when you're meditating. Visit situation. Not in a victim way, not like, oh, I feel bad for what I've done. No, own it. Go back and take back your power. If I was powerful, what would I behave when they told me this? If my ego wasn't afraid to be bruised, how would I respond? With more mercy, with more compassion. I would give them a hug. I would just smile and that's it. It will be done. Right? The fight with the cab driver or the Uber driver that started 6 months, it could have been done in the 2 seconds if I just say, I'm sorry. Oh, here, come on, pass, take the spot. Go back and change it in your consciousness. Every time you do that, you climb up. You elevate yourself more and more. And by itself, your opponent is dropped. Cannot face you. This week, it says you need to put what we call judges and policemen. Judges and policemen on all your gates. What does it mean? The gift of this week is to assign judges and policemen to protect us. Most of us, when we see a policeman, oh, what do they want from me? Oh, cool, what do they want from me? But really, that system meant to protect you. So if you have the right policeman to remind you, again, like I always give the example, if you drive in the highway, right? You drive, everything is good. You drive, you're in the right speed. And all of a sudden, you see a police car. But you're okay. What does it make you feel? Oh, do I have my driving license? Or am I speeding? What's the time? All kind of nonsense. You just saw a police. He didn't even think about you. Just by having that awareness of putting a policeman over me, and also a judge that judged right. Judge that tells me, I need a judge to tell me what's my opponent. Hey, this is your ego. Stop, don't go there because it's just gonna mess up. A judge that will tell me the correct judge. Sometimes, you put upon yourself a good friend that tells you, hey, I know you're going to tell me, or your teacher, or somebody that you trust, that will be my judge and policeman, to always put it there in a proactive way. Not in a, I'm afraid for my teacher or my friend. No, I need to have that because I always get in trouble. So again, one of the things that you want to create for yourself is lahafoch bria chadasha. I want to make myself a new person. And again, not in a, not in a flyer away type of, like how many times all of us, I always laugh about it, because how many of us told ourselves, that's it, I'm no longer going to lie. How many times? I don't want to lie anymore to anybody in my life anymore. Don't say it because that's already a lie. That's already a lie. You can't, we're always finding ourselves in the same circle, lying again, or why are we doing it? Right? That's the opponent. So create a new rhythm that every opportunity you have, you start climbing up. You're using the process of Chuvah to elevate yourself more and more, so your opponent is suffocate. The crow is out of your neck, and you're free to do your work as human being in this world. Thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful rest of the week. Great month.